So if you have someone who comes to you and says, okay, so I'm in a relationship and he's not, I don't know if he's the one for me. Okay, he wants me to be like this, or or I want him to be like this, and he doesn't do that, and he's not thoughtful, and he's not romantic, and so on. So how can I feel? Should I be with him, or should I be finding someone else, or how can I change him? How do you deal with that?
I would probably first question is, how do you know if you should be with him?
Yeah.
And okay, go ahead.
No, my answer would be because I am, but that's,
I have been asked this question before, right? Something along that line. And then I would say, I don't know. I don't know the answer to your question. So how do you know if you should or should not be with him? Like, what's your criteria? What would you need to know in order to find out whether you should be with him or not? And then Then
I guess they're going to say, well, I would know if I should be with him because I would be happy.
Yeah.
Yes. And then they're thinking that the happiness is coming from him.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And I always say that from my point of view, if you're in a relationship, you should be in the relationship. That's because everything is happening the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you will stay in the relationship or that it's the relationship for you for the rest of your life. But
exactly.
But that's, there's no, it's following. Then what? It's really about following wisdom, and you can't follow wisdom while you're thinking.
Exactly.
The answer comes. Yeah, the answer doesn't come from thinking. And most of these people are trying to work it out from thinking, and the answer doesn't come from thinking. It comes from when you're in the shower, or when you're, you ask the question, but you ask the question, how will, I wonder how I'll notice that I know for certain that I'm in the right relationship, or that I'm doing the right thing, or that I'm, and then the answer will come to you, but not while you're thinking. It's like I'm always saying, like when you ask someone, when you see someone and you can't remember their name, and the more you try and remember the name, the more you're not going to remember it because you're too busy thinking. Your thinking is getting in the way.
Yeah.
Then you go off and you do something else, and you fall out of your thoughts because you have a shower, or you go for a run, or you're enjoying the sunset, or you're playing with your children, or you're doing something that you love to do that doesn't take any thinking.
Yeah.
Then the answer comes to you.
Exactly.
That comes from wisdom. That doesn't come from thinking.
I agree. The clearest decisions that have ever come to me never came from me grinding away at my thinking.
No.
Yeah.
And that takes some, because we're so brought up that you have to work hard, and you have to think hard, and you have to, you go to school to study, and that's actually so counterproductive. I mean, I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know. Yeah. I always, I loved school, but when I was at school, I used to think, this is not right. There's something wrong with this. This is not the way to be doing it. This is not a way to learn.
Well, I mean, it's understandable to me why people would grind away at their thinking, because, well, look, this is serious stuff. This is my relationship. This is my life. If I don't think about it, then it may just, go down the drain. And so naturally, people would say, well, I really want my relationship to be better. Therefore, I should think about it. I should work on it. I should put my attention on it and think about how I can improve it, or make it better, or make another choice, or when I should leave it. But it's understandable because there's a lot at stake, but it's the misunderstanding that we can get any kind of clarity or wisdom from grinding away at our thinking. It just never works that way.
No, it's just like trying to remember someone's name when you can't think of what it is. Just the same.
Yeah.
You get out of the way. You get out of the way, and all the answers are already there anyway. That's the whole point, is that we are one with universal. We are one with universal wisdom. I mean, that we are who we really are is just energy, and is part of that universal wisdom. We have access to that all the time, and it's only our personal thinking that gets in the way of us, of that flow of universal wisdom coming to us all the time. So the answers are all there, just like that name of that person is right there in front of you, and you can't see it because you're too thinking.
I agree with you. This is what I have seen in my clients over and over and over again. They would come to me and say, like, Emily, I'm really stuck with this, and like, I need to figure this thing out, whether it's a relationship with a partner or a family member. And I'm like, you've been thinking about this a lot, right? They say, yeah. And I would suggest them to either go away and like just leave it, or they get caught up in something. They are so busy being engaged with their lives and doing something else that they just like totally forget about it. And then the next time we meet, they will say, oh, they would either be like something occurred to them so clearly that they know exactly what to do, or because they've taken their attention and thinking off the topic, that the tension had just eased off. Yeah. So it's amazing what can happen when we have this understanding.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, and so these are the sorts of things that you are teaching people about, or you're introducing people to in your new in the
in the 3 misunderstandings that are keeping you from finding your man. I'll talk about these things, like the misunderstandings about where our feelings are coming from, about who we are, and I also talk about the dynamic between the masculine and the feminine.
Okay.
Those complete for now. Maybe I'll just repeat the URL.
Please do.
Yeah, so it's emilynature.com/3.
And you can find me too at I've forgotten where I am now. At Facebook, facebook.com/make love for life, and that's for FOR, not for with a number. So make